A North Texas doctor indicted for murder after tampering with IV bags.
Denton's well known for jazz, but tonight we'll introduce you to the punk rock scene.
Today is the last day to register to vote. Stay tuned for more.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Chase Palmer.
And I'm Austin Wright. Terror in Ukraine escalates as Russia continues to bomb Kyiv after an explosion set ablaze the Kerch Bridge in Crimea, prompting a call for revenge from President Putin. Russia continues to press forward in their war, now targeting civilian sites, leading many nations condemning Russia as a terror state. Ivan Rodriguez has the latest.
Explosions and air raid sirens cut through silence in Ukrainian cities. Officials warning people to take shelter as Russian forces unleash a new brutal barrage of attacks.
My immediate family was in a residential building under attack, unable to go to a bomb shelter because there was no electricity.
Ukrainian officials say they're destroying about half of the missiles and drones being fired into their territory.
It's almost every hour. 28 launches today of the Russian missiles, and it's only this morning, and 84 missiles yesterday.
Russia has now confirmed it's targeting Ukraine's energy facilities. Ukraine's foreign minister tweeting in response, "These are war crimes planned well in advance and aimed at creating unbearable conditions for civilians." Russia says U.S. weapons assistance is making the war as painful as possible for Ukraine. NATO's chief says he believes Ukraine has the momentum.
President Putin is failing in Ukraine.
Russia's former foreign minister says Putin's new tactics are desperate and dangerous.
He turns to what he is doing, intimidation, that is threatening nuclear weapons, which he will not use. Terror is the only thing left for him, like for any miserable terrorist in the world.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
After many countries called out Russia for being a terror state, they flipped the script and officially declared Meta a terrorist organization. Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, has been banned from Russia and listed as a terrorist and extremist group, with Russian officials requiring local banks to freeze Meta's assets. Meta has tried to appeal Russia's decision but has been denied.
A North Texas anesthesiologist accused of tampering with IV bags has been indicted on 10 counts of murder. In September, Dr. Ronaldo Ortiz Jr. was arrested for injecting nerve-blocking substances and other drugs into patients' IV bags. This resulted in deaths of 10 people, including a fellow doctor. Since his arrest in September, Ortiz's medical license has been temporarily suspended. The Texas Medical Disciplinary Panel determined if he were to continue practicing medicine, it could pose a continued threat to the public. All charges have been dropped against the city of Denton, stemming from a federal lawsuit in the shooting of UNT student Darius Tarver. Denton police shot Tarver in January of 2020. His father filed a federal lawsuit against Denton and the officers involved in the shooting. While the claims against the city have been dropped, those against the officers have not. Those charges claim the officers violated Tarver's Fourth Amendment rights by using excessive force.
You know, Chase, I've been noticing the temperatures these past couple nights has gotten lower and lower.
I do hope it stays that way. Let's check over to our full weather anchor, Courtney Hill. Courtney?
Thanks, you guys. So I do believe cool weather is here to stay, but right now in Denton, Texas, we are sitting at 79 degrees. It feels like 81, but we have had some scattered rain throughout the day. And then when we go to tonight, we will drop all the way down to 74 degrees. Tonight we will be experiencing some scattered thunderstorms, so be prepared for that. And then tomorrow, we will rise all the way back up to 89 degrees, so it feels really good tomorrow. The winds will be shifting to 15 miles per hour, but that's all I have for your first look. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Courtney. Have you seen Back to the Future Part 2, Austin?
I believe I have. That's the one with the flying cars, right?
Exactly. Well, that's about to become a reality. Our reporter April Pierdon is here to tell us more about these new aircrafts. April?
Thanks, guys. Imagine the possibility of flying cars being commonplace in our lives. Picture air corridors, air ambulances, and maybe even air taxis roaming around the sky. Well, earlier this afternoon, researchers with UNT made a public demonstration of the first air corridor in the country. The flying vehicle could run from Fort Worth's Alliance Airport to UNT's Discovery Park in Denton, home to the Autonomous Systems Laboratory. Future air corridors are planned to be tested in the city of Frisco and in the state of Oklahoma. And well, in the not so distant future, you may be able to see a flying car next time you look up in the sky. Jack, Chase, back to you guys at the desk.
Speaking of airborne vehicles, Delta Airlines is offering a new solution for travelers who have trouble getting to airports. Delta invested $60 million in Joby Aviation to build electric aircrafts that will transport travelers to the airport from nearby Vestaports. These aircrafts are designed with electric propulsion that will allow the craft to both take off and land vertically. The service can transport 4 travelers at a time and will reduce the amount of time it takes passengers to reach the airport. Pricing is yet to be determined.
Up next, not sure if you're registered to vote? We can help.
And an event on campus can help those struggling with addiction and mental health issues. We'll have more for you in a bit.
6, 7. Hey, didn't see you there. Just finished my 100th rep. You ready to train?
Yeah!
You got your weights?
Yeah!
You got your energy drink?
Of course.
You got time to go to the Pole Recreation Center?
Yeah, what?
Listen, I didn't even graduate high school. I can't teach for the life of me.
Instead, UNT is offering workout classes at a moderate pace, including yoga, cycling, Pilates, and more.
Don't rely on your dad's old workout videos. Check out the UNT Rec Center today.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
Today is the final day to register for those planning to vote in the upcoming midterms.
Organizations have come to campus with the sole purpose of getting students registered to make sure their voices are heard. Our live reporter Meredith Pascal has more.
If you are an eligible voter, today is the last day to register to vote for the November 8th election. To double check if you are registered, you may visit the Texas Secretary of State's website. However, if you are not registered, then go ahead and head over to the UNT Union where you can get some help registering. Remember, every vote counts. Austin Chase, back to you at the studio.
Thanks, Meredith. We all know the cost of just about everything is going up, and that includes the price of housing. For people renting apartments in Dallas, that has been a real problem. ntTV's Mauricio Ortiz Segura has more.
It's not good. I don't really know what can be done about it policy-wise or anything, but I feel like there should be a way to control that.
Everyone's rents are going up, so you can't really do too much about it right now, but you just gotta stick with it as long as you can.
According to ApartmentList.com, Dallas rents have increased sharply by 12.3% in comparison to the last year. Dallas's year-over-year rent growth also leads to the state average of 8.3%, as well as the national average of 7.5%. Dallas's median two-bedroom rent of $1,487 is also above the national average of $1,360. This has shown a clear negative effect on the livelihood of Dallas citizens.
I mean, I can't live by myself, which my roommate's great, but I think everyone wants to have their own place. But it's kind of a struggle because I think for young people especially, because it's just hard. It's just hard to make a living in a city because there's a lot of opportunity here, but it's hard to like live. It's just hard to live. Yeah.
The surge in rental prices have also caused renters to think about alternative living situations because of how much they're going to have to pay in the future.
I've like thought about like, well, what if I had to live in my car, or what if I had to live like I've seen like those tiny homes online where people like buy like really tiny like mobile homes, and I thought about doing that.
My mother and I have actually considered moving in together, but it would take quite a momentous something to make that happen.
There's a lot of pessimism right now surrounding the topic of renting apartments and even home ownership, as the future appears to be looking even bleaker and pricier for those who are looking into the housing market right now.
I'd like to buy a house one day, and I don't think that's not feasible anymore for me, I don't think, for a long time. So
I believe it has finally gotten to the point where I can coordinate my sweaters for the week based on how the weather is finally shaping up.
I'd hold my breath if I were you. Let's have our weather anchor Courtney Hill tell us what to expect for the next couple of days. Courtney?
So you guys, I do believe it's okay for you guys to bring out those sweaters, but right now we'll take a look across North Texas. We are sitting in the high 70s for pretty much everywhere, except for Decatur. We are sitting at 71 degrees, Denton 79, and then 83 all the way in Stephenville. If we take a look across the region, Oklahoma City is sitting all the way at 75 degrees, Denton at 79 again, and 88 all the way in Austin. So they are experiencing a little bit more warmer temperatures. Let's go to the 7-day forecast. So as we look at our 7-day forecast, it's kind of wonky. We have sun going on, and today we are experiencing 40% of rain. Not too much rain until Saturday again, but it will be 16% of rain Sunday and Monday as well. So if you're planning on doing anything, I would probably do something Friday, early Saturday. That's all I have for your 7-day forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Courtney. A new look at e-cigarettes has some disturbing details about students and what they're smoking. In an urgent public health problem, according to the CDC, federal data shows more than 2.5 million middle school and high school students used e-cigarettes this year. Doctors say these cigarettes not only contain nicotine, but also certain chemicals that affect the brain. Research shows e-cigarettes can impact your attention span, memory, and even learning. The big draw for these devices is the flavor. Nearly 85% of these teen smokers choose flavored products like fruit, mint, or menthol. The bottom line, these products become extremely addictive. The popularity of e-cigarettes has led to a misuse in younger generations. Fortunately, there are resources to help people in recovery, including groups on campus. Our live reporter Leslie Mata has more. Leslie?
Thanks, Austin. Today we're with Anthony Usella. He is a graduate assistant that works with RISE. It's a group at UNT that provides support to those recovering from substance misuse. So what does RISE offer to those who are recovering?
Sure. So RISE stands for Recovery and Intervention Support and Education. We're part of the Division of Student Affairs here at UNT, but we offer one program called the Collegiate Recovery Program. It's a program designed to help students enter into a sober community or a recovery community while they're in college. Some students may choose to enter into recovery from substance use or a process addiction, and we try to offer that community aspect and resources for them.
Okay, what would you say is the first step or the first steps for somebody who's recovering?
For sure. So if it's someone who, let's say it's someone who's not a student, a really good way to start is just by looking up recovery centers or like groups that are in your local area. For example, we host the Smart Recovery group here in Denton that's open to all community members. So that is a group that if you're not a student, you can attend. You can find those resources by going to smartfinder.org. It's a good place to find Smart Recovery groups. If you are a student, you can just come by to our office and ask about the support groups we offer, or maybe considering having a CRP membership, and you can meet with our supervisor and our CRP coordinator.
Okay. What other programs does RISE offer?
Sure. So like I mentioned, we have the Smart Recovery Program, which is a program that is recovery focused for like substance use or behavioral addiction. But we also offer like a mental health peer support group. We also offer a support group for people that are in the Pride community. In general, just well-being support. It's not group therapy, but it's a place where students can help each other and learn from each other's experiences.
Thank you, Anthony, for your time. So if you need help with substance misuse, RISE can help support you. Austin and Chase, let's go back to you.
Thanks, Leslie. Up next, an added academic break for next fall will make all of us very happy.
And a local punk rock musician is breaking ground in Denton. I'll introduce you to him later in the broadcast.
Sorry. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry.
Starting next fall, UNT will officially have a fall break. Similar to spring break, no classes will be held during the whole week. In the past, classes were closed only during Thanksgiving and the following days. But now, students will get a much-needed extension for the holidays. The dates for the new fall break are November 20th through the 24th. UNT will remain open until the 23rd, but campus will close on Thanksgiving and the day after. These changes will take effect next year, are intended to allow time for students to rest, recharge, and prepare for the end of the semester.
Well, it's a little early to be planning a road trip for next fall, but if you're looking for something to do this weekend, our Deja Jackson has a great suggestion in tonight's North Texas road trip. Deja?
Thanks, guys. I took a trip to Louisville for some fun and excitement. Let's take a look on what you can do this weekend. They have various things to choose from to have a great time, like dodgeball, crash pad, trapeze, wipeout, launch pad, and so much more.
It's really for all ages. There's different things to do for everyone. If you don't like one of the things, you can do it something different.
But Ninja Warrior is really cool because you see a lot of kids trying to get through it and falling onto the airbags.
They have Ninja Warrior at all levels for the younger kids and the older kids.
Of escape rooms, so instead of having like one room where you're locked in it, there's like different sections, and each section has like a different theme, and it could vary from physical challenges to mental challenges, and it's really fun.
They even have activities for the adults or younger teenagers who's looking to throw an axe.
My favorite activity at work is probably giving the intros to axe throwing specifically. My favorite thing to do is also the axe throwing, which is a lot of.
There's so many things to do here at Airborne. I had to try out their axe throwing.
I had to get in some fun myself, and the manager of Airborne, Ethan, was kind enough to teach me how to throw the axe. Let me tell you, it was not easy getting the axe to stick at the target, but a few tries and determination, I finally got it.
It's different than a lot of places. I hope that they have a fun time and that they want to come back, and I love this place. Like, I'm going to talk about this, like, and be like, let's go here. Like, if you're bored, let's go to Airborne.
There are so many things to do there. You would definitely have to come back again for some more fun. Now, who's ready to throw some axes now? I know I do. I hope you guys to see you there. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Deja. We all know the Denton music scene has a huge reputation for jazz and big band, but it's so much more than that. I decided to take a deeper look into our city's punk rock movement.
The Denton music scene is more than just jazz. I was given the opportunity to talk to the head of the underground genres, Martine.
My name is Martine, and I'm a local DFW musician and promoter in the punk rock scene, the underground punk rock scene. I got into doing music and performing music in high school with my friends, but I didn't really get into performing in the scene until after the quarantine lifted and from COVID. I found it was very hard for bands to get into the scene, to find a gateway into like being noticed or getting that attention or publicity that they need to succeed as a band. And now I mostly am doing my own thing where I'm putting on my own shows and promoting bands that I'm discovering as they're coming up. I just saw so many creative and like diverse and interesting individuals around me, and I'm really big about building community. And so I started booking shows and meeting people and getting to know these people that I like.
And all the bands I see out in the crowd, we got Sierra over there. Hi guys, hi Blueberry Tuesday.
My band is here, they're waving. Hello. But Slump is a new project I started. Me and my friend Matt and Tate formed this 3-piece project, and I've been in multiple bands in the scene. And I've kind of just jumped around, but this one is more just we're having fun with it, you know, and creating music that we want to. My whole thing is about community building, and so with the bands that I put on, the people that go to the shows and everything, everybody who's involved is an important part of that.
Well, now I have to decide between football and music this weekend.
Sounds like a tough decision, but I think you'd be more interested to hear of what happened in the football scene this past week. Our sports anchor, Lillian Kosh, can tell you more about it. Lillian?
Thanks, guys. From football to volleyball, there was a lot going on this past week. I'll have a weekend rundown for you after the break.
It was a really good movie.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, so we have to watch the next one before next class, right?
We do?
I think so, but it's not on Netflix and it's not on Hulu, so...
Man, I don't want to pay for that.
So what do we do?
You think there's a place we could go to get the movie?
I'm not sure, maybe?
Oh, there's a place to get the movie.
Oh?
Really?
Yeah, it's right here on campus. Come on, I'll show you.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
This past Sunday, the Washington Commanders fell to the Tennessee Titans, losing 21-17. While it wasn't the best game for Washington, there were still some exciting moments for the team and the fans. After 6 weeks of rest and healing, rookie running back Brian Robinson Jr. made his first NFL debut after experiencing tragedy. On August 28th, Robinson was shot twice in his right leg during an attempted robbery. While he escaped with his life, his football career was on the line with the first NFL game starting September 8th. Like I said, it took a long 6 weeks for Robinson to make a full recovery from the incident, but that did not hold him back from the game he loves. Brian ran onto the field with his head held high for his first ever NFL game. The crowds were going crazy for the rookie as he finally claimed his well-deserved position on the field. Robinson had a total of 9 runs throughout the game with 22 rushing yards, and while his team did not come out on top, it was still awesome to watch a first-timer kick off his professional career. And speaking of professional careers, I think Davante Adams just tanked his career. Last night was a wild one for Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a close game till the very end, and I'm talking close. But the Chiefs pulled through after a failed 2-point conversion by the Raiders. Kansas City ended up winning 30-29. After the game was called, it was time for the players to pack up and head back to their respective locker rooms. It was clear the Raiders were frustrated with how the game turned out, but wide receiver Davante Adams made it crystal with his behavior. On his way off the field, Adam was seen taking his frustration out on a photographer, shoving him down to the ground after he passed in front of him. It has been reported the cameraman ended up in the hospital after his fall and was left with a $3,000 medical bill. Adams released an apology after the fact, stating, "That's not who he is, and he's sorry, but a simple sorry isn't always the answer." The photographer had a police report against Adams, and the incident is being investigated by the Kansas City Police Department. At this time, no charges have been pressed against Adams, but rumors of suspension for the wide receiver have been thrown around as the NFL figures out what to do in response to the shove. Davante Adams has now risked his career for something that could have been avoided. I'm curious to see what comes out of this situation and what the police will conclude with their investigation. Over the weekend, our UNT volleyball team took on Louisiana Tech at the Mean Green Volleyball Center. It was a clean sweep with our ladies winning all 3 sets, sending the Bulldogs back to the doghouse. There were multiple key players that game, but one middle blocker took the cake. Shadiman Holly showed up and showed out at the game Saturday, making her Conference USA's Defensive Player of the Week. Holly led her team in blocks, averaging 2.67 blocks per set. She also contributed to kills, making 6 throughout the night. She held her own as she proved to be the best of the best. Holly is the first member of her team to win Defensive Player since September 2021. I'm excited to see her excel and conquer the competition as the season continues. Volleyball will be back at home again on Friday, where they will face Kentucky at 6 p.m. Thank you for joining me today. That's all I have on sports this week. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Lily. Well, this is a save the date, not a wedding, but a coronation. King Charles III will be crowned on May 6th of next year. The ceremony will take place at Westminster Abbey. Along with Charles, his wife Camilla will be named consort. Charles is 73 years old and became the King of England when his mother Elizabeth II died in September. The longest reigning monarch in English history. And of course, the big question will be whether Harry and Meghan will attend. I guess it's a wait and see. Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night here at 6 on North Texas Television.